Descenders is one of those ideas that it sounds so brilliant having played it that I'm surprised nobody else has thought of this before, or at least at this level. But what we have here is a game that combines the trick-based extreme sports angle of such titles such as Tony Hawk, the BMX series, and so on, but with the procedural world generation that we see in roguelike design. And what we have here is a game that may not be for everyone, but is such a very innovative take on this kind of gameplay. Now, Descenders is made by Rage Squid, whose previous game, Action Hank, also hid a lot of the complexities and depth behind its simple premise. But with Descenders here, there is no greater story. You are out in the world doing mountain biking for thrill, profit, and fame. The rules are pretty simple. As you start a career up, the game will procedurally generate the courses that you see based on various variables such as steepness, number of tricks, etc. Your mission is to get to the goal without pretty much killing your rider here. Each level will get a random special objective that if you complete that, will reward you with additional life. And every time you bail out, you lose a point of your life. And with the courses being procedurally generated, it means that you can never really get a handle on what to expect. Some courses will demand pure speed, others will require you to keep doing more with tricks. The trick system should be familiar to anyone who's played a Tony Hawk or a similar style sports game. You have your right analog stick used for performing tricks. You can press left stick while you're in the air to do spins and twirls, and there is a trick modifier button as well. The game itself, it gives you a lot of freedom in terms of how you want to perform tricks, but as with other sports games, you are penalized for repeating the same trick again and again. Now, the reason why you perform tricks is twofold. You get an experience in this game in the form of rep, and this is used to unlock new courses and some of the advanced challenges. You also will unlock crew members. Crew members are probably the closest analog would be gear in a regular roguelike, and each crew member you unlock will provide either a passive bonus to how you play, or will give you a greater control over what tracks will show up while you're playing. Now, as you play through, if you run out of health, you do have to repeat things from the first area, but the further you play, you'll be able to unlock shortcuts and things along those lines. And this is such a very fascinating take, not only on the extreme sports kind of design, but on roguelikes as well. Because this is, in essence, a roguelike. You're going to be having to constantly test your luck and push how far you want to go for points in order to unlock new stuff. But you also have to keep in mind that going way too fast or trying to perform a 900 off a ramp may not be the safest thing for your biker. Now, the game hints at advanced play in the form of additional career levels, as well as a persistent PvP element in terms of choosing a sponsor and then earning points and raising up the sponsor level for you and your team. But there isn't a lot to talk about in Descenders from a design standpoint, because what you see is pretty much what you get. With that said, after a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters and backers, we're going to talk about where I think the game could do a little bit better job in terms of explaining just how far you can go down these mountains. And now for a quick thank you to our Patreon supporters and current Game Wisdom sponsors. If you would like to continue this discussion on game design, be sure to check out our Discord channel, link down below. Descenders, like Action Hank before it, are games that are built entirely around you, the player, figuring out the technical and advanced maneuvers of it. And I think this game has the same issue that Hank did with trying to explain or convey that to new players. This is a game that is entirely skill progression based. There are no RPG elements of leveling up, There's no, +5 grip gloves that you're going to get in this game. The only things that are persistent are unlocking shortcuts to the later areas, the costumes or the clothing piece of gear that you can get by playing, and the crew members only work for the single run or that single career mode. Everything else is entirely up to the player. And as I said at the end of the last part, I don't think Descenders does a good enough job of explaining the technical or the higher level side of things. Looking at some of the menus, the game mentioned tips involving doing wheelies, pumping and anti-pumping, how to kind of soften your landing, things like that would be very useful to learn, that unless you look through those specific menus or are experienced with this kind of genre, you would have no idea of their existence. And the game's basic tutorial, I think, works, but similar to Action Hang, I think this could probably use one more advanced or expert guide for new players. One thing for me that I was having a lot of trouble with, besides just getting the controls down for the tricks, was what to do during the quote-unquote boss stages. Yes, that's right, this is an extreme sports game with boss stages. But the boss itself is usually performing a uber extreme stunt. And my problem was that I didn't know why I was crashing into various objects while I was in the air or not being able to land properly. Because I was doing what the game was telling me to do and it just wasn't working. And again, I think that's where having an advanced guide would come into play. But with that said though, I do hope you decide to check out Descenders, because this is a brilliant combination of systems that I have not seen go together in this way. And I want to ask everyone this. Can you think of extreme sports games that combine roguelike design like this? Because I can't. And like I said at the start, I am surprised nobody else came up with this idea beforehand. But with that said, I would like to thank the developers for giving me a press key. Definitely check out Descenders. And if you are a fan of either roguelike or action-based design, because there really is nothing else like it. And similar to Action Hank, I can see this game being for a lot of people something that they will either play for maybe 5 to 10 minutes and then stop, or something that they will just go all the way and try to master. But with that said, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. Let me tickle your game in the future. Please don't hesitate to get in touch. But otherwise, this has been Descenders, and I will see you all next time. If you're looking for a book on design, my first title, 20 Essential Games to Study, is out now. It is available where most books are sold, and it comes in paper, hardcover, or digital copies. This is the perfect book for anyone interested in learning about game design, whether you are a student, enthusiast, or just a fan.